leaving Taupo on a Sunday afternoon, getting ready to go down to Okuni for the week. It's times like this that I start feeling, I'm too old to go teaching. It's only the leaving from Taupo, which is a beautiful place to live, leaving my family and life here, that I find the most difficult part. Once I get on the road, I tend to sit and think about the week ahead, and this week I'm thinking about my level 1 and 2 classes. So for level 1, we've just finished off a unit standard, which is plant seeds in a garden. They have to make a vegetable bed, basically, make a seed bed for vegetables and grow them up so that they, once they are germinated and out of the ground and they have the evidence, that's the end of it. It's kind of the end of the summer life too. From here on in, the weather starts turning to pretty crappy stuff, and so the students don't really want to go out in the cold or wet weather, although they kind of surprise you every now and again, because in the middle of winter, when it's freezing cold, "Miss, can we go out in the gardens today?" There's nothing to do in the gardens in winter. It's freezing, it's cold, it's miserable, but somehow they like getting out and doing those practical things every now and again in winter. Anyway, most of them have got to the stage where they're just finalising all of their booklets, and they are ready for presenting all of the evidence. They've been really good putting the tools away, doing all the things that it talks about in the unit standard that shows that they've met the standard. In other years I haven't been so explicit as to say do not use the tools in the incorrect method, but this year I did actually say to them, if you use the tools in the correct method, it will be a black mark against you, and if you get 2 black marks, you will definitely not pass that element. So they've been pretty good in making sure that they do the right things with the tools. So that's the end of that unit, and it comes time for the students to evaluate what they thought of the unit. I asked this question of the students at the end of last year: what was the thing that you enjoyed the most in horticulture in the last year? And without a doubt, nearly everyone said digging the gardens at the beginning of the year. I don't know why, but it's pretty funny. You try and make the lessons all about discovering new knowledge and evaluating what they've learnt and all those exciting things, and in the end, what do they like? They like digging gardens. Even when I first came teaching, they used to like digging holes, and one of the exercises that I did in year 9 was okay, we're going outside to dig a hole to China. And the kids went, yay! These are 13-year-olds, 13, 14-year-olds. I said, I want you to try and dig a hole to China. I'm not sure how far you'll get, but you'll be able to tell me. So they went out and they dug and they dug and they dug, and then they got to a point where they couldn't dig anymore because they get to the parent rock underneath, and they get tired. And by then they've dug a pretty good soil profile. Had I told them to go out and dig a soil profile, they wouldn't have known what I was talking about. They wouldn't have enjoyed it so much. But once they've dug the hole, get them to take photos and then bring that photo back inside and analyse the different layers. It's a lot more of a learning experience than the lesson on the board. Here is a soil profile. So it will be interesting to see what the level 1 students say about the garden, digging the garden this year? Is that going to be their favourite thing? The fact that they haven't been using very high thinking skills is irrelevant. The fact that they are using their bodies and mind to learn how to put a garden bed together, I guess that's pretty basic, but they enjoy it, and equally it's a skill that they will learn for the rest of their life. Right, what else? The next thing that I'm going to work on with the level 1s is the experiment. Now there's an achievement standard 1.1 is worth 4 credits, and they need to be able to carry out a fair test basically. So in order for them to have enough knowledge to carry out the fair test, I'm going to set the scene for them about dormancy and use kōwhai seeds. They need to understand a bit about dormancy, and so I'm breaking them into groups. There will be about 4 groups, maybe 5 in it. Each little group I will put a bit of information about dormancy, methods of breaking dormancy, and scarification, stratification, soaking in essence, etc. And a few crucial questions will be asked so that they have a fair understanding of what dormancy is about before they actually start the experiment. In other years I haven't done it this way. This time it's a little bit more the inquiry learning model, setting the scene first, then they acquire the knowledge that they need on how to do a fair test on finding the best method of scarifying seeds. And then they can use what they've found out and communicate it via the graphs and tables and evaluate it, and so the assessment will be over. Once they've evaluated their experiment, did they do it right? Could they have done it better? Is it the best that they could have done? How could they have improved it? Anyway, that's the level 1s. The level 2s, we've just finished another unit standard, which is a horticulture industry one, about the structure and function of plants. So how the plant is put together and what different bits do in the plant. In previous years I'd given them the assessment and just asked them to go and find the answers, and when I was at the horticulture industry moderation, they said no, that they felt that this should be a memory test. In other words, they had to sit down and know the stuff. So I'm just following that instruction really. It's kind of sad really, because it's a simple basic level of thinking is to be able to remember stuff. And if that's all the horticulture industry training organisation want of them, it's a wee bit sad, but anyway, that's alright. Play their game. And so what I've done is broken the assessment up into tests, and they have to learn all of the information about stems, roots, leaves, etc. And then they have a little test on that. Probably not a cool way to learn, because as the kids said to me the other day, if we have this test next week we'll forget. And I said, yes, well, I know back in my day this was how you did your tests. It was a memory game. If you could remember a whole lot, you did fine my approach is going to be a inquiry learning model again. I'll be sourcing it, SAUCE, set the scene. So I will be reminding them in groups again. We will have different stations and they will go around and get some basic information about effects on the environment that primary production can have. In my level 1 class, I do a paper on the general effects, an achievement standard on the general effects of ag and hort on the environment, and now they're going to be applying it to one of their local industries. So I figured I could set the scene a bit by reminding them of stuff they already knew, or they can remind me of